Talk about a figure I didn't expect to like. Remember when this thing was first announced, and most of what we saw from it was that one horrid stock photo? What the Yeah, we really should stop taking those photos at face value. We know they're crappy, yet we keep believing them. How dumb of us. Also, this figure is amazing. Holy crap. Greetings, people of YouTube. I'm Screaming Star, and in this video, I'll be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series Voyager Class Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Starscream. Y'all remember my community post last year, in which I bashed this figure and said that I was disappointed? Yeah, I wasn't happy with how this thing looked. Then I started watching some reviews and thought, hey, maybe this isn't such a bad figure after all. Lo and behold, this might be my favorite Voyager class of the year so far. I'm sure I don't have to explain a lot about who this is, right? It's Starscream, my beloved, as he appeared in the video game War for Cybertron. One of my favorite takes on the character, actually. So when I opened this guy up, my excitement level was at an all-time high, and after actually handling the figure itself, he's so good. The two other Voyagers that I've gotten this year have a sort of pattern to them that I don't like. They look good, but they're not fun to pose. This figure looks good enough and is very fun to mess around with. A part of what makes him so fun would definitely be his accessories. You get his Null Ray and this Energon Club. The Null Ray acted as a sort of sniper rifle in the game and was very fun to use. The accessory itself looks decent, could benefit from some paint apps, but overall I like how it looks. You can plug it into his hands and have a full-on sniper look. Very cool but inaccurate. For more accuracy, simply pull off his forearm and plug the Null Ray into this port. Now this is where it's at. Sadly, the severed forearm doesn't have a dedicated storage, which is a bummer. You can plug it into the club and store the whole thing on his back, but that's more like redneck engineering than actual clever weapon storage, so well, at least it's an option. Oh, and you also get a squad. Looks good, is game accurate, but I never really thought it fit Starscream's aesthetic. Would have been cooler if he'd used some swords instead, but ah well. It arrived in two pieces and goes in nicely into Starscream's hands. This is peak display. If you don't want to use these weapons, the ports on his back can be used as weapon storage. Two big and fairly versatile accessories. We're eating good so far. So how's that robot mode? Pretty damn good. With one mild aesthetic issue, but I'll get into that in a bit. The overall silhouette matches the in-game model very well. The build on this guy is just spot on. Not big in how thin his arms are, but it's for the transformation, so I get it. Despite said transformation, his back looks great. Very game accurate, which is very nice, since your POV in this game is from the characters' backs. Another very game accurate piece is this very good looking head sculpt. Probably my favorite Gamer Edition head sculpt that I've seen thus far. Now so far it's looking pretty good, right? Well, now we come to this. The sole purpose of why people trashed this guy to hell and back when he was first revealed. This massive, detailless cockpit. Fortunately, in the hand, it doesn't look that bad. Plus, this is made out of a very soft piece of plastic, so painting it is out of the question. I'm sure upgrade kits and stickers will fix this in the future, but for now, I'm happy enough with what we got. It's an admittedly minor aesthetic gripe that's nowhere near enough to knock the figure down. Detective! Check out that review if you really want to see a figure that's ruined by one issue. Not only does this figure look the part, he feels incredibly solid. More in the vein of his mighty leader as opposed to this small fat burger over here. So far he's good, but what really drives him over the edge for me is that he's actually fun to pose. You know what this means? After handling two somewhat stiff and very unposable Voyagers, and I Prime's okay, I guess. This was an absolute breath of fresh air. Head is in a ball joint. Can look up really far. That is amazing for a flying character. Can look down, not that much. Rotation and a little bit of pivot. Shoulders rotate 360. Can move out that far. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, which looks a bit weird, but it's not terrible. Wrist swivel. Surprisingly, there is a somewhat limited waist swivel, but I'm glad they put one in anyways. Hips can kick forward all the way that far and move back that far too. Yeah, he can do the splits. Thigh swivel. Deep bend at the knee. Not that deep actually. And finally a pivot, which has a slightly sculpted in gap filler piece so it doesn't look that bad. These intakes can also rotate and they were separate pieces out of the box, so don't worry if yours didn't come with it. And lastly, the wings. Hinge joint at this pair and a slight swivel for this pair. Really good posability. Combine that with the two accessories and we're gonna have a really fun strike-a-pose segment. had such a good time posing this guy. If you like your Transformers to be posable, you're gonna love this thing. But if you want your Transformers to be big, well, this guy ain't it. Size comparisons. Here's Starscream next to Gamer Edition Barricade. Fucking hate this thing. No. Here's Siege Starscream. Comparing him to a regular 6-inch scale figure, we have the Marvel Legends Mr. Knight. And finally, Gamer Edition Megatron. Impossible! No one can control Dark Energon. I am the Dominator. I am the Destroyer. You get the point. I love these two in the game. And yeah, they look pretty cool. So robot mode, I love it. The transformation, my favorite Gamer Edition transformation to go through. Let's have a look, shall we? And here we have Goblin or something. Okay, moving on. When transforming him back, I recommend prying your nails or something in between these gaps. The connection here gets a bit tight. Now here we have a Cybertronian jet mode that's not just a stupid triangle. Don't worry, I still love you. But man, this is such a nice looking jet. One of the best Cybertronian modes probably ever. It's got a lot of interesting angles and little details that make it look unique yet still very cool. The cockpit doesn't look that bad in this mode. Still would like to see some more sculpted details in it, but ah well. You can pick him up to reveal barely any undercarriage. Lovely. And whoosh him around to realize that he's actually very stable in this mode. It's great. Only complaint I've heard about this jet mode, other than its lackluster form of weapon storage, is that these wings are a bit too small, but that seems to be game accurate. The jet mode though is not small at all. Size comparisons. Here's Starscream next to Barricade, Siege Starscream, the better Cybertronian jet mode, Mr. Knight, and finally Megatron. And there goes my review for the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Starscream figure. I really didn't think I would like this figure. And yeah, I don't like it. I love it. Just due to how solid he feels and this substantial amount of articulation. Makes this guy my favorite Voyager class of the year so far by a fairly wide margin. Oh, and his transformation was banging. I highly recommend this figure if you're into the Cybertron games or if you like Transformers in general. Being a Starscream fan also helps, of course. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you all next time. Alright, here we have my Rise of the Beast shelf. We got Studio Series. What the heck is that?